What's going on YouTube? Cliff here. Today we got a Harley Davidson Softail or Heritage Softail. Forget what year it is. I'll probably put it in the description or in the title. It'll be in the title of what year it is. I can't remember off the top of my head. Anyways, we're going to be changing both wheels. I'm going to show you how to take both wheels off of it. Let's take a look. So if you got something similar like this should apply to you. If not, it's good educational, but it'll take you long. Alright, first thing we're going to do is we'll take this safety clip off. Just take a pair of needle nose. Kind of just pull it off. You can use a flathead as well. Do it without losing it. There we go. Little safety clip. Since the exhaust is in the way, I'm going to press it wrench, but I believe it's like a 23 millimeter. We're going to take this loose. Ooh. We got our nut, a washer, and our adjustment washer with the little notch in it. What we'll do is take this extension, just kind of tap the axle through. There we go. On this side, we'll see if we can pull the axle out. There's our axle. It's got an adjustment spacer block on that side as well. Now we need to take our belt guard, upper and lower belt guards off. We need a 1/2 inch socket and a 1/2 inch wrench. Take them off. This one you're going to need the wrench on the back side. Take our guard out. Then back here there's a bolt. You don't got to take it out. You just got to loosen it up a little bit because this plastic's got a slot that goes over. Get it loose enough, you should be able to push it upward. Come on. Get it over out the way. So, there's a stud down here in the plastic that's in the. Push that out the hole. Move that back. This way you can move your wheel forward. If not, the pulley will hit this. Push our wheel forward. Take our belt off. On this side, what we're going to do is I like to lift this caliper bracket up. Try to pull out the spacer. Here's our spacer. Twist the wheel because the caliper's on this tab bracket right here. Trying to get it off. Get it up over that. Get it out. Set it out the way. And there's a spacer on the other side. Big spacer. Alright, let's go to the front. First thing I'm going to do is take a 10 millimeter 12 point. It's got to be 10 millimeters, got to be a 12 point. Nothing else for your caliper bolts. Before you pull this bolt all the way out, support it. Pull it out so you don't want it to drop. Twist it open. Open the pads and roll it out from the fender. Then what I like to do is take a Crown Royal bag or a rag or something, wrap it around it. Keep this from dinging anything up. Next we're going to do the axle nut. It's a 19 millimeter. Got a nut, lock washer, and a regular washer. Now on the other side of the axle has got a cap with 2 nuts on it and some washers. We're going to take those out. Take the cap off. This one says out. We'll show you that when we go to put it back together. Now you're ready to take the wheel out. Take your rubber mallet. Support the wheel. Your cap. There's a washer on this side. And this is a cover, but it's also a washer as well. The axle cover / washer out. Turn the wheel if you don't have it high enough. Slip it out. Come back, show you come back and show you how to put everything back together. Alright guys, time to put the wheels back on. First thing you're going to do before you leave the shop, make sure the wheel and the tire are going the same direction. Arrows here. We know the rotor's on one side. You can always mark your wheel. Some wheels have marks on arrows on them themselves, but if you have two rotors, just put an arrow on a rotor. But put it back together the same way. Roll this under. Grab our axle and our spacer / cover. I've already pre-lubed our axle with anti-seize. Put a cover on. Get our axle started. Then on the other side, I'm going to take my spacer there, have the axle pumping through to hold that spacer. And I'm going to lift everything up. Let's get our axle in. Like that. Now we're going to take our cap where it says out. This faces outward. Sometimes it'll hold it, sometimes it won't. You're going to put a washer on, then a lock washer, then your nut. Now we're just going to get this temporary started. Like that. Take our axle washer, axle's lock nut. Our axle nut has like a cone shape on one end. That one faces outward. What that is what they did is they kind of pinched the axle on this end, so it kind of locks down on the thread, the last couple threads of the nut. So like right there, it's getting tight. Then you're gonna need your 19mm and then a screwdriver or something like that, because if you notice on the other side of the axle there's a hole drilled through it. You want that hole parallel with the ground. The reason is because it can cause a whistling sound effect, and also if you got axle caps, you usually want your bolts or your set screws on the bottom to keep from water collecting and corroding, so the hole's not there, so you can clamp down on it. So I'm going to take the screwdriver on the other end, just hold the axle from spinning. Make sure it's parallel, tighten it down. There we go. Now we're going to take our caliper out the bag. Check our brake pads. He's looking a little, got about a third, maybe a quarter left in the inside one. Easily put that on. Long bolt goes through the top. Short one on the bottom. Start them by hand. Always start your hardware by hand if possible. Tighten down. Alright, last thing we're going to do is our axle cap. When you tighten these two bolts up, you want this gap to be even on both sides. Take your 1/2 inch. These don't have to be super tight. I think they're like 20 foot-pounds. Just kind of walk it back and forth. Check your gap. Looking pretty good. Spin the wheel, make sure it spins. Pump our brakes up. Let's go do the back. Again, check your rotation. Back's a little easier because you got your drive side, brake side, so go in the right direction. Slip our wheel in, lower it down. Let's put all of our belt guards on. Slide this in. Take one with the bolt. Get it started. There we go. What I'll do is put the nut on there so get it started so it'll pop back out. That there. That over that bolt. Take our nut and bolt. Through this, through the plastic, and through the tab on the swing arm. Get that all started. Next we're going to take our caliper, but first we had this piece fall out. So, there's a little tab down here that you can gingerly bend up that's holding the hose. Bend it up, pop the hose out, and give you a lot more motion. But see this hole right here? You're gonna stick that in, get it started. Get a pair of pliers or something, pull on it. If it doesn't pull through easily like that, just spray it with some soapy water or something that goes in there. It's like a rubber dampener while it's on that shelf. Alright, now let's get this in. There goes that spacer. Oh well. Get the pad started. Now the hard part is when you're trying to get this over this ledge, this rubber tab thing is going to want to fold up. So you got to be wise of that. There we go. I got lucky it went on. If it doesn't go on, spray it with some soapy water. You should be able to wiggle it on, kind of get it in there, make sure it's in there. Another way to feel is feeling the bottom. I can feel it. So, good there. Take this spacer, it goes between the wheel and the caliper. Try to wiggle that in. Alright. Take our large spacer, roll the wheel back a little bit. Can't fish it in there. Get it in there straight. Almost had it. There it goes. Get it in. Put our belt on. There we go. Cool. I've already cleaned and lubed the axle. Stab it in. Oh. There we go. Make sure our other spacer is lined up. So you get it all the way through. There's a little notch cut out that goes in the adjustment screw. All I usually do is take something, pry on the inside of the pulley, get it in there. There we go. Take our big washer with the notch in it. Put that in there. Make sure the screw's in the notch, our washer. My nut. Tighten her down. Now before you get too tight, you see the hole where the safety pin goes? Make sure that's up and down. And if you're tightening the axle and the axle starts to tighten, just put a wrench on the other side. Here we got lucky and it's not, doesn't seem to want to be. There we go. Put our safety clip back in. Like that. Make sure it's in there. Now your belt will rub for a little bit, but once you get it spun around and it starts to equalize out, it shouldn't rub. Spinning. Pump our brakes up. There we go. Alright, there you go, YouTube. I found out it's a 2005 Harley Davidson Heritage Softail. Showed you how to take both wheels off, put them back on. Not too difficult. Back wheels, because that belt guard, you know, usually that bottom, the plastic cover, usually it's got a threaded insert. So I had to deal with that stud, so I had to take the axle back out, move the wheel back, get the pulley out the way. But wasn't too difficult, just a little So anyways, if you like what you see, give me a thumbs up, comment down below, just be gentle please. And then make sure you subscribe and also check out my other riding videos, alright? And I'm hoping for more to come out. So I'll see you guys later. Adios.